Hey, welcome. I'm happy you're here. Oh my gosh, welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. Don't I look angry? I, more like stressed out. Oh my gosh, this week's been crazy. But I guess going towards the election, it's just going to kind of be that way. Things are going to get worse and worse. So be safe, everybody. Oh, I've heard some horror stories already. Mario, welcome. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Just getting started. This week's discussion topics, as always, are anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. So that covers it all. So the show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and also to serve as an educational tool for white folks to learn about systemic racism and have an open, honest discussion. Ramses, hi, thanks for being here. I'm excited. I have a couple announcements and we will get started. I had too many things to prepare for. So if you have topics you have in mind, then please feel free to jump right in. Um, I don't really have a rant today. I did something a little different. I have first I have announcements, and then I have a bunch of really quick things to just go over that a lot of people might have missed because there's just so much going on. So first, I want to thank everyone for sending me all the important news. I cannot keep up with it all. Nobody could. So I really appreciate people who send me news. If you too would like to send me, I will like bow down to you. If you too would like to send me any news that you think is extremely newsworthy, just do it right here and personally message me, and I will check it out. I'm on Instagram, so please look me up. It's angry_soccer mom. And I'm also on Twitter at Imagine No Hate, even though I really don't know how to use Twitter yet. I'm just saying. But I'm trying. The final presidential debate, supposedly, come hell or who knows what's going to happen, is going to be October 22nd, supposedly in Nashville. Trump is having a rally in Iowa right now. Oh, is he really? Oh gosh. You know what? Ugh. Oh, it's been one heck of a week. I believe it. So I will try to hold a chat party on that date. If people want to come, I will hold a chat party. I think it's a little bit just a waste of time, just not to have a chat party, but just to watch him because I mean he just lies the whole time. So it's like, I mean, it kind of is a little stressful. Let's just put it that way. Because I'm like, I feel like I feel like steam's gonna start coming out. I'm like, stop lying. But it's definitely interesting. Um, for tonight's topics, I've prepared a bunch of stuff, but of course, anything you feel is newsworthy, just jump on in. And my topics are Trump and the coronavirus. Um, the second one is making money off of his presidency. I read an article that I was like, what the actual? Oh my god! I just couldn't believe it. Um, Voter suppression on steroids. Plus, sorry to say, I heard a bunch of things. I was watching progressive radio, listening to progressive radio today, and oh my gosh, the stories, the man who was on it was people were calling in, and I don't know if this lady was, what she was saying, but she actually heard somebody say that in one of the southern states, go figure, no offense, um, they were actually not letting black people in to vote, only letting the white people in. I don't know if she was, exaggerating or what, but that I would love to see because that's just, I mean, that's we've gone beyond just voter suppression. This is like democracy depression suppression, I guess you could say. I don't know what the word is, but this is nuts. So Harper, thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. um Melania revealed that Barron was positive. Yes, yes. And you know what, I absolutely. um this is it's I'm not shocked at all. um doesn't they just don't get it, or they don't want to get it, or oh, I am so over analyzing them. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's terrible. um so the I wanted to talk a little bit about the, not to bore everybody, but the Voting Rights Act. I don't believe Ford had COVID. It was one of the yeah, you know what, a lot of people were saying that, and I think he definitely had it. I mean, just think of how many people he'd have to. But I know a lot of people were saying that. Think of how many people he. I mean, it wasn't. He spun it to be good for him, but the only reason I'm like, yeah, right, is because this is not good for him. But I mean, of course, he made it seem good for him. But the man is truly off his friggin' rocker. He didn't have far to go, but um, the FBI plot to kidnap and murder a governor or two. Want to talk about that a little bit? Yeah, he's deranged. Absolutely. It's that it's gone this far is what's terrifying. He has mirrored step by step what dictators who love regimes do. Um, Hitler, Roman numeral two. I don't, you know, I follow Robert Reich, and he just outlined it for years, basically, what's going on, and it's some scary shit. But um, I tend to bag on him a lot, but you know what? He had to have people willing to remain ignorant, uneducated, and not care about their fellow human to do this. So, he's a leader, but there's obviously people who never quite got over the Civil War. Okay. Oh my gosh. So my other stuff I have prepped today is this sheriff, this Michigan sheriff apparently didn't think what the plot to kidnap the governor or two was such a bad thing, really. It's just kind of, I'm like, oh my serious God. And so I think that's worthy of discussion. But I also want to know what your plans are to vote. I want to know if you're nervous to go or just whatever, or you've just had it with this. um, I've heard, and if you want to report anything about your district and what's going on, I know people are reporting what's happening, and it looks like a lot of voter suppression in the South. So let's get started. Jump right in with anything. I'm going to start with some headlines. Um, this is like to be noted because we kind of missed 2 weeks since we had the vice presidency debacle or whatever you want to call it. I want to start with some headlines. And a lot of this you might know if you follow what I do. Um, I requested an absentee, but smart, Harper, smart, smart. Yeah, I think I'm going to vote early. I don't anticipate any trouble in my area, but we have a lot of fake liberals around, so it could get ugly. But this is crazy. Um, Rams, Kanye West is on the ballot in a few. Is he really? Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Oh gosh. I, that I think we need it. I mean, I know it's kind of funny, and he's not funny, but like he's a real interesting guy. But something that does kind of worry me is that, and I'm going to be really honest. So you can hate on me if you want. I'm ready. I'm ready to fight. But to be honest, people are doing this like conscientious, like not going to vote stuff, and we're going to conscientiously not vote to keep our democratic republic. We're going to be voting for a regime, and people who vote for third parties, I understand, I get it, don't get me wrong, this is so not the time to do that. I don't think we're really voting for a person more than we're voting for basically an attempt to keep our democratic republic or our oligarchy or our pseudo dictatorship, or let's be real, the people's word, the people's voices are not being followed in states, maybe sometimes, but overall, no. How do I know this, you might ask? It's simply because there are study after study after study that show that 60%, 80%, 90% of people want certain things. I'm talking the entire United States, and we don't have them. Common sense gun laws. Seriously? Common frickin' sense gun laws. No, because we value money. We value making money off of weapons more than we value our children's lives. Our kids have the right to grow up. I think that's kind of a right too. I'm not bashing on the Pat. Hello. I'm not. Thanks for being here. I'm not bashing on the Second Amendment. I'm just saying, like, common freaking sense. If you're not allowed to go on a freaking airplane because you're kind of deemed like a terrorist or something, why in the world could you get an automatic weapon or a semi-automatic weapon? I mean, that's crazy. That's all I'm saying. Gary, welcome. Thanks for being here. Harper, he has no business being on it. He is bipolar disorder. Someone with a serious mental illness cannot do a job carrying so much weight. And I also feel I can say that because I also have bipolar disorder. Harper, I absolutely, we have that in our family, and I get it. And yes, you can say it because you know what you're talking about. Absolutely. And he's unmedicated. And he's also something special about him. He's very rich, so he gets what he wants using his money. And second or third or 10th, he has a clan around him who are acquiescing to every, I mean, it's crazy. They, who says no to that man? Nobody. Um, Nobody says no to that man. And he seems to have something over on so many people. It's like, this is a classic con man dude. He has like, my guys will like what he did to the now older woman who had um what looked like a very legit uh you know court case against him for raping her with Epstein. Um so he scared her family away once, and then they came back again, and in the 11th hour they scared her witnesses away. There were witnesses in the room, like three people. So I mean, this guy's literally getting away with murder. Don't get me started. I will rant all day about, but I won't. Okay, so today's headlines: a white woman who called 911 called and confronted, remember the bird watcher lady in Central Park right down the road from where I kind of live. um she It turns out the news is that she that wasn't her first call. um she was captured on video, remember, just making up stuff to the man who asked her to put her dog on a leash in the bird sanctuary area. And what happened was, it turns out she called before and alleged that the man assaulted her. I'm not sure why this is coming out so late. It's kind of weird, but um, yeah, that. So that's the first one. Um, Let me just see here. Harper, unmedicated is very dangerous. I went off meds in the beginning, but because I was in denial, and that's very normal, I think. It's been many years since I realized that I can't live without them. I mean, some of these medicines are life changing medicines. I'm a former special education teacher. I know that, in the 90s, ADHD was, every teacher thought they were diagnosing. It's a medical diagnosis. I actually got a child who needed medicine. It changed his life. I'm talking changed his life. Medicine is amazing if it's the right medicine. We just know so little about mental health. And clearly, based on the fact that we have like zero system of mental health that's affordable in the United States, at least, we don't really give a shit. Just my opinion, but sadly from a lot of experience. Um, Absolutely. Ah, please watch your language. Are you serious, Pat? Are you serious? Or are you're teasing or serious or okay? Um, I wasn't sure if you were like joking or it's okay. It's totally okay. Well, listen to me. I swear more than anybody. I just, the way I look at it, guys, is, and I know, Pat, you're good. You're going to keep me on the air. Huh? The way I look at it is, if not now, then when would you swear? This is crazy. So I will move on with some other news. So apparently this lady tried to lie. And I mean, that really needs to be, in my opinion, a national crime. I mean, of some sort, calling Scooby Doo. Hello, welcome. Thanks for being here. I think if you're, a white person calling to basically call to push your power onto some person who happens to have more active, be have more active melanin in their skin. Okay, a black person, a brown person, indigenous person. Give me a freaking break. That's ridiculous. It needs to be a crime because we're endangering their lives just because we're too arrogant. Um, thank you, Pat. You're Pat. You're good. Okay, but yeah, no worries. The second thing I wanted to mention, headlines to be noted, is Trump. This is just to me like there's just so much to talk about, and a lot of things seem little, but it all kind of adds up. Trump's antibody treatment was they tested they tested the medication on an aborted fetus cells, basically. And Trump's big thing, which he's completely full of, you know what, since I saw him in an interview on Howard Stern years ago talking about he was begging his girlfriend to have an abortion. Just saying. Um, but Scooby 2, Pat might be. I'm not sure. He's more strict than I am, but yes, he's just trying to protect me. Um, but here's the thing, he's a freaking hypocrite. I mean, I guess using aborted fetuses are okay when it's his life, but I promise you and we're not getting that. Okay, and I'm not saying I'm pro or for or against it. What I'm trying to say is, give me a break, hypocrite. Oh my gosh, I mean, I could write a book. I think people have. Another quick thing. This is really sad to me, and I kind of almost regret posting it. But what appeared to be a very severely mentally ill woman, disturbed woman. She was a white woman, apparently kind of ranting to this black fellow who happened to just kind of be in the wrong place, I guess. She had a puppy. She threw it at him. It was the strangest thing I have ever seen in my life. Okay, that's a lie. It was in the top 10, I'm going to say. She threw a adorable, precious little puppy at a man. Threw it. I don't know where she got the strength. I mean, she chucked that thing. It was the sickest thing. I could only watch it once. Um, but I do not know. She was clearly like absolutely off her rocker, either on something or not on something that she should have been. She was clearly mentally ill. She started ranting about how black he was and this and that, and he indicated that she was racist. We didn't get a lot of the details, but I posted that. I don't know if I should have. I did because I cover racism. People are losing their shit. Okay, and I know this has been going on from forever and a day, but I think people are really, really getting entitled and really, how shall I say it, emboldened, um, real emboldened. I was in, well, you guys are gonna kill me. I was in Walmart the other day, and I'm just saying, half the people weren't wearing masks. They were smug. Some people were just wearing it around their, like, as a necklace. I'm like, hello, like, just a little common courtesy. Some of us actually want to live. I didn't say anything, but I was like, damn, I kind of wanted to get out of here. It was freaking me out. People just didn't seem to give a shit. I don't know what else to say. Harper, I saw that. I thought she was either on drugs or mentally ill. Definitely, yeah. I mean, when she came up to the window of the car, her eyes, I've never really, like, I don't know a lot about drugs, but I know practically nothing about drugs, okay? Illicit drugs. Her eyes were like really small, the opposite of dilated. They were like really teeny, like something was definitely wrong. Um, so I hope she got help. I really do. Um, but anyway, that was that. Thought I'd mention that. And another quick couple things just before the presidential debate. Now, the evil is coming out in me. I admit it. Okay, I used to be really nice. 4 years ago, I was a nice woman. And now I want revenge. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want revenge. I want this man out of our lives. I want these people educated. I want them to stop harming my fellow humans. It is, it's unbelievable that we have people on this planet, in this country, because I focus on this country and I know the world, that are so racist. They literally cannot see straight. And it's just, anyone who knows me or follows what I do knows I feel very strongly that systemic racism is a crime against humanity. It's an ongoing one, but it is a crime against humanity. It's like constant terror, because I've talked to way too many people. Jamie, in Texas, here in San Antonio, at any place, even Walmart won't let you in without a mask, or it's mandatory now, no mask, no service. That's mostly what I've been to. But guess what? Not at this place. I actually asked one of the workers. I said, "What's your policy on?" I mean, it was ridiculous. People were maskless, running around maskless like they didn't give a shit. And they were coming up to, I mean, there's no social distancing. I'm like, dude, I'm here to shop. I mean, give me a break. I almost left. I actually almost left because I was like, trying to tell you my sob stories, but I went to the doctor's today. Lo and behold, a dude comes in. He had a mask on, I must say. He's like, hi, and he's talking really loudly. I just I just found out that like a guy was at a dinner party with, and he's like talking really loud. The whole office, everyone's like, apart. had COVID, so I think I might have it. And the lady at the reception's like, "Get out, get out!" She was like, I could, I mean, she's like, "There's signs everywhere. Do not come in if you think you're infected." But I guess he didn't read it, and I was like, so I went back to my doctors. This is really heartwarming. I said, "So are we all? Does that mean that we're all a possibility? That I don't. People don't know this is a very new thing." And my doctor said, "Are we all like in trouble?" She goes, "I have no idea." Okay. Now you might say maybe I should switch doctors, but to be honest, my doctor's like really good and really honest. She has no idea. She's like, "We don't know." I'm like, "That's nice." So anyway, enough about me and my little adventures. But whenever I do actually venture out into civilization, I have to tell a couple stories. So Harper, I'm in North Carolina. We have a mask mandate. Stores have signs up stating that no one enforces it. Yeah, that's the thing. I've never seen, like, we have store like signs up everywhere, but the enforcement part is crazy because I don't see people enforcing it. And this one guy, I am not kidding. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny. He looked at me, and now that I think about it, okay, people, am I a target? I have this hippie purse. Isn't it cute? I love my hippie purse. Okay, my beautiful hippie purse. And he must have gone like do, 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 like radar liberal or whatever, whatever. I don't know, and I'm not trying to be a rude jackass, but I'm just saying he started chasing me. And I don't mean running after me, but he was looking at me and giving me this smug look with his mask off. And I'm like, "Shit, get away." So I kind of like ran away. But I'm just saying it was kind of scary. But okay, I'll shut up now. Gary, supposedly it's a $2,000 fine for a business for each day they don't enforce the mask rule in New York. That's right, you're in New York too. This lady was like, "Don't look at me. I'm not. I can't. We can't enforce it." And I'm thinking, why not? Every other store is. But anyway, enough about me and my trauma. I have a person in my family who is very, very susceptible. If they get this, they are going to be really not doing well. Um, because if you have a low immunity or anything like that, it's a problem. So I'm trying to be careful. I'm just trying to be, I'm not trying to be crazy, although I am a little crazy, but I'm just trying to be careful. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Um, Here is another. Well, so I was going to get to this just before the debate, and I sent this out a little late. Pete Buttigieg. Okay, I don't. Whether you like him, love him, hate him, he's a damn bright guy. Okay, I think we can all probably generally agree with that. Great speaker. Oh God, if I could speak as well as he does. He went on a Fox News interview. Did you guys see it? And I was, I mean, I've turned evil, like I said. I have never been so happy in my life. Those guys were freaking deer in headlights, just looking deer in headlights because everything they said, he had an incredibly bright, common sense, understandable answer for. So the two were just, and Fox News is really upsetting to me because they constantly lie. Um, Obviously. And I find it unconscionable, but he tore them a new one. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it. Sorry, Pat. He did. It was hilarious. It was therapeutic. And normally I'm not like that, but see, I've changed. But I haven't changed that much. Just, I think we've all been pushed to the core. Pete's great. Harper, I love Pete. Gary, a local friend had it now, has chronic health issues. God, that's just awful. Of course he did, but Fox underestimates everyone. I know it's almost an arrogance that yeah, he was amazing. They were just like, I mean, they looked so peeved because they couldn't get him. I just don't get this whole thing. I got to stop being put downs and just start having a heart for people who just literally cannot use critical thinking skills. I'm no genius. I never said I was, but for the love of God, I take the time to think. If you keep your immune system boosted when and you're not having problems along with the thymus. Oh yeah. So I think as I cough, I think a lot of people, if you're relatively healthy, you might do well. Yeah, but it's kind of scary. I read an article. I'm going on. I read an article by an adamant Trump supporter, self-proclaimed. He's like from Texas. He said, he was doing the mask thing for a while, and it was a great article from the Washington Post. And what happened was he finally, like a lot of us, said, I haven't seen my mom in a long time or something like that. Well, not me. I haven't seen my mom in like 14 years, but so she's not coming anytime soon. But I'm talking, parents who are really close to their kids and see them all the time. He's like, I want to have my parents over. He had his parents and his partner's parents over. And that night he got really stinking sick. And so did everyone in his house. At some point after, two of his parents died. And he has permanent neurological damage. And I'm reading this article, reading, going, oh my God, I feel horrible. I feel horrible for this guy. This is an awful way. I mean, I don't want anyone to learn a lesson that way. And then at the end, he's still voting for Trump. Like, no comment. What the actual? Okay, so there's that. Gherkin, America is crowded country. I don't think the virus can be easily controlled. Um, you know, I think we've seen a bunch of countries do a really good job in doing the best they can. We have done nothing. That's not the best we can. I've asked for a test multiple times, so people in my family, so have my friends. They couldn't even get a test. This is not the best we can. We can. I believe in us. I understand what you're saying, but I live in the country, so it's not that crowded to me. Crowds aren't the thing. It has to do with doing something, and I feel very fortunate to live in New York State because our governor did do something, and he did something when no one would do anything, and I'm happy with that. And I know I don't want to get into the politics of it, but give me a break. Trump did nothing except basically lie and say it's a hoax and lie again and again. So, I mean, that's documented. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. Anyway, so is my friend permanently? Yeah. Population doesn't matter if there's a competent commander in chief. Absolutely. Russia is spiking and they're doing almost nothing to stop it. No wonder Trump lives for Putin. Yeah, Putin. Yeah, it's Cuomo is awesome. I know a lot of people have things with him, and I really don't follow local and state stuff because I can't even keep up with the international stuff, let alone international or local. So, but let me tell you, I started because he took leadership. And say what you want about the dude, he did something, and I truly believe he cares. Um, so I know he's probably done other things people hate him for, but he freaking did something. It's like, my God, somebody step up to the plate. Um, yeah. Trump's just, he's, he's a disturbed man who needs help. So anyway, I'm blabbing. Jump in anytime if you have a topic you want to bring up. The last thing, okay, so Pete kind of kicked ass on that, and normally I'm not like, oh yay, I want to see people look bad, but I just, you guys, I'm still human, I can only take so much. I like to be humanistic, but these people are just unbelievable. They won't listen. They don't care. I don't think it matters who they see speak or what debate they go to. They don't. I'll just say it like I think it is, and I have a good friend of mine thinks that this is not the case, but I truly believe that Trump had him at racism. The minute his followers found out just how freaking racist he was, nothing else mattered. And one of my very first videos I did was on that. And I hate to stick to my story, but it's kind of what I think. Nothing else mattered because it was finally someone who understood that they just love being white. And that for a lot of people, it's the best thing that ever happened to them, pretty much. And like I always say, I love white people. I love black people. I love brown people. I love indigenous people. I actually love all people. But I don't love people who are racist assholes. I just don't. I'm sorry. I want to help them, but some people don't. And not like I'm so sanctimonious. I'm not perfect, but these people are destroying lives of my fellow humans. It's insane. And I'm not going to sit there and watch and do nothing. I can't do it. It's all about me. I can't sit and watch and do nothing. I have to try. So on that lovely note, NBC was battered with a lot of criticism. And I want to know what do you guys think of this? Wednesday, they announced that they're going to have the debates on the same night, these town halls. Now that Trump's decided that he can't bear to if he can't cut somebody off and be rude and not let them speak, then he doesn't want to go to the debates, and he won't wear a mask, and it's really obnoxious. And his child, like Harper said, his child is sick. And I mean, I know how I feel about my kids. If they got sick, we the people must make a difference. It's time to come together and stop this foolishness. Oh, 110%. Yep. Hmm. Absolutely. Um, Harper, his supporters hear this dog whistle and that's it. They don't care what anyone else says. Racism, health, inequality, I could go on and on. Yeah, absolutely. And the craziest thing is they're voting against their own best interest, unless they're millionaires or something. And I mean, I don't know. And even if then they're voting against their own personal like morality's best interest, because I will not. This is something I kind of believe in. It's just a belief. It's not religious, but I don't think you can be truly, truly, honestly happy if you are rotten to your fellow humans as a policy. That's just me. You can say you're happy. You can say you love being, a racist piece of shit, but let's be real. Is that real happiness? Watching other people see, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. My philosophy has always been since I was a little kid, I don't want to live in a country where my neighbor dies of a curable disease. I don't want to live in a country where my neighbor is homeless. I don't want to. That's sick when we have money. This is not an impoverished country, but it is because of the divide. And that's not fair. That's not right. I don't want to live in a country where my neighbor gets something wrong with them and they need some freaking penicillin and they can't afford to go to the doctors because the copay is $50 and they die. That's evil. Okay, sorry. I knew I'd been on a rampage. Um, Shippadeo 7. I didn't realize that American medias are part of. I didn't realize that American medias are part of systemic racism. Oh God, yes, absolutely. They really are. Um, we have a very uneducated country with regards to systemic racism in America because most people, as of 5 years ago, when I did some very very in-depth study for a book I was trying to write, at the time, I don't know what the stats are now, but 50% of all white Americans thought we were in a post-racial era. Go figure. Um, People don't know what racism is. They think it's burning crosses and saying the N-word. Well, that is a part of racism, but it's not systemic racism. And that's a whole nother ballgame, and it's extremely powerful, and it's so much bigger than any one of us. Um, just so much bigger. Yeah, absolutely. When I was a little kid, um, ship a day, when I was a little girl, I used to go downstairs, and I'm kind of old, so you know, we had colored television then, but black and white. No, actually, it was close call. I used to go downstairs and I'd peek around the corner and I'd see the TV, and my parents would be watching TV really late at night. I didn't know what they were watching, and I used to see the news. I guess it was the news. It looked like, and there was police on the news, and they had a lot of black people on the news, and they were all lined up, handcuffed, with these little patches over their eyes, like they put on TV. I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you're not as old as I am, and I was like 3. I didn't know what it was, but I saw black people in cuffs every night that I snuck down. Black people in cuffs, black people in cuffs, black people with police, black people with these little things on their eyes so you didn't know their identity. What does that tell a little girl? Black people are the bad guys. Okay, that's one incident, but or 2 or 3 or 10. Nobody explained it to me. I didn't I didn't know, but yes, the media is incredibly racist. I think they've probably improved a little bit, but nowhere near what needs. We're not educated. Anyway, I'm blabbing. Um, Let me see. People who hate others actually hate themselves. 100%. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Ramses, do you know about China's president is preparing his military for war? The U.S. is giving Taiwan a rocket system called Hermes, so we'll see what happens. Really? Because Taiwan, I work for a company in China. Um, And a lot of my students are from Taiwan. Well, they live in Taiwan, and some live in the mainland, and some kind of go back and forth. But there's a lot of really there's a lot of problems. We're not allowed to talk as to clients about. I can't shoot the shit about Taiwan and mainland China. I'll get fired. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I did not know that. I That's a really scary thing. Um, yeah, it's a real tough. People don't like. We're not supposed to talk about it, but yeah, some people sneak a little conversation in, but I think they're gonna get me in trouble. Anyway, um, politicians have not. Okay, um, Gherkin, Gherkin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Please forgive me if I'm not. Politicians have not achieved anything and will not succeed. Conscious people are important. If we live in a society where conscious people were together, politics would not be necessary. Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. Maybe I don't. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's. I call myself a humanist. Okay, and that is what I strive for to ideally be. That's who I want to be. That's who I feel like I am. I know sometimes I veer off course when I say it was really nice seeing those people on Fox News, get theirs from Pete. Um, that's not very humane, but you know what? It's gone too far. We're playing nice to people who don't play by the rules. And I know that sounds like a really good excuse. I'm not sure if maybe it is. But yeah, if people could just care about their fellow human, treat others the way you'd want to be treated, meet people who don't look like you, who don't pray like you, who don't uh, like the same things you like, you'll realize this incredibly crazy thing. We're all humans. Wow. We have so much more in common than not. But for some reason, um, the GOP has turned this into totally inhumane, awful, awful, making all these excuses to do horrible things to our fellow humans. Um, I don't get it. Let me take some comments. Humanity is the key, and when that is compromised, then there will be chaos. And right now, it's compromised. I'm going to say compromised, compromised. Um, yeah, this is crazy. So, Harper, not to get you started, I always get like triggered. Why do white people get offended by the term white privilege? It's because they understand that all it means is you were born white, right? They don't understand white privilege was taken from academia, and it was kind of perversed by people who decided that they were going to use it and kind of warp the meaning. I always tell folks, and I know you know this. You're very educated. But white privilege does not mean you don't work hard. It does not mean you're rich. It does not mean you love life. It does not mean life's easy for you. It simply means your problem isn't going to be the color of your skin. And it's as simple as that. And people just don't get it. There's tons of privilege. Economic privilege is so key in this country. We are rotten to poor people. We're especially rotten to poor people who are brown, black, and indigenous. But we are rotten to poor white people too. We don't think they deserve health insurance. We don't think they deserve a home. If you're poor, you are basically spat on by our culture. And I find that to be sick. But then again, I find a lot of things. I don't know if I was quite meant to be here. Harper, so many things need to be reformed. Police, the justice system, and politics. In 2020, not everything applies the same. Amendments are needed. This is kind of what that's a great point. I always think this, and you can tell me what you think if you think this is crazy. But I think we rested on our laurels. Like, wow, cool us having this, great constitution and this, that, and the other, winning a war to end enslavement, although we continued with slavery by another name. I don't want to get into it. I mean, we're still head deep, drowning in literally drowning in systemic racism in this country. Don't get me wrong. Um, it's like we said, okay, we'll just take another 150 years and not progress. Like if you look around at all the other countries that are like countries and wealthy countries and supposedly educated, we're rested on our laurels. We have not been progressive. When people say, "Oh, these young, young Congress people are they're so progressive," no, they're not. They're progressive here in Europe and other places. They're middle of the road. It's not progressive. It's called being human. I don't know what to say, but oh, I got on a rampage again. Okay, sorry. Um, yeah, that I think we are extremely inhumane. And I have people saying, "Oh, you just hate white people," and I'm like, "Oh, shut the you know what up." I am a white people. I don't hate white people. I don't hate any people. I do not care for people who choose to remain ignorant and choose to systematically and purposely and knowingly take away my fellow humans' civil rights. I think they suck. And I'm not going to lie and be like, "Oh, I love all people." No, I love most people a lot. And I'll work with anybody who wants to learn. But and I will agree to disagree with anything, but not that. That's my bottom line. No. If you want to agree to disagree on something, I'm fine, but not when it's my fellow humans. Human civil rights. No. And that's my bottom line. And that's why I consider anyone who supports Trump to be racist, because he is a racist. And you cannot have it both ways. I'm sorry, you can't. Let's put it this way: if you support Trump, you might not be an overt racist, but it wasn't a deal breaker for you. And that is unconscionable. So, anyway, oh, I always get all crazy. Okay. Next, I'll like, be quiet. All right. The first topic I wanted to talk about, if you guys are into it, is just really briefly on Trump lying about the coronavirus. I think it's very, very dangerous. He has clearly some followers who are very, very gullible, and they're going to do what he says. People died from drinking his little bleach things. I mean, a couple people did, and I mean, this is like incredibly irresponsible. Just doesn't seem to cover it. But a lot of lying and opposing information came from Trump's COVID doctors and Trump himself. So, but especially alarming to me was how Trump told America, this just pissed me off, that he got the standard treatment. It was actual total bullshit. He did not get the standard treatment. Trump's COVID-19 treatment is far from what other American patients get or will get or got. Trump's probably, according to his doctor, a medical professor at George Washington University, Trump's probably the only patient on the planet that got those three drugs, and certainly as fast as he did. So, I mean, what kind of crap is that he's trying to solve? And people believe him. In addition to this experimental antibody therapy, Trump also, he got remdesivir. He got steroids. That's not what people are getting. Um, a lot of people died at home because what they got was "don't come in until you can't breathe well," and that was too late. So, I mean, this is pretty bad. Um, he's I hold him responsible for doing absolutely nothing. Um, so his treatment was far different from what most Americans will ever get, and he got this. Well, here's something really weird. I have to tell you, this freaked me out, and I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Trump Trump got remdesivir, but he also got dexamethasone, and there's something interesting about that drug. I've been reading about it. Um, he received the dexamethasone. It was a cheap and widely available cortisone that can reduce inflammation, but it also suppresses your immune system. So it's generally not recommended, according to this university doctor, for COVID-19 patients unless the situation is severe. This is what the guy said. Quote, "We don't know what dexamethasone, we know it does reduce the risk of mortality. And that comes from data from a trial called the recovery trial. But, and I'm still quoting because I am not giving out medical advice. This is somebody else's medical advice. But to show you what the stakes are of taking this, the patients in that trial who received the dexamethasone and derived a benefit from it, this is the crazy part, still had a 23% chance mortality rate in the 28 days after receiving it. So about a quarter of the people treated with this were dead by month's end. And that is a doctor's quote. So we're talking pretty crazy stuff. So I was like, it's kind of interesting. So let me put it in like plain English. The stuff can help you in the short term, but a month after taking this, 23% of the case studies that they did died. So this is not the safest, this is, yeah. So, read into that what you will. But I was like, damn. So yeah, that. We know that dexamethasone does reduce the risk of mortality that comes from the data trials called the recovery trials. But to show you what the stakes are, that's what happens. A quarter of the patients died a month later. Damn. Let me take some comments. Looks like a little something's going on here. Let me see. So I got backed up on a rampage as usual. North Korea doesn't like America as well. You know what? North Korea, well, Kim Jong-un doesn't like America. We've done some, obviously. But I used to work for, I think, Pat, you know this, I used to work for a company that helped people who crossed the DMZ, not the DMZ, they can't do that. One person has, though, but people who crossed the border of China and North Korea, they used to pick up the people so they didn't get into what's going on that border with people who did escape in the past is a lot of them got picked up for trafficking, basically sold into slavery. They think, yay, I'm free. No, they're not. And so this agency that I used to fundraise for would had safe houses all along the border. And the people, we have to separate, and I know you know this, Pat, we have to separate the people from the regime. I mean, because the people aren't told the truth. Now, some of them along the around the South Korean border can hear the truth, but they are brainwashed, literally, to believe that Kim Jong-un is a god. So it's not the people. Kim Jong-un is the one. The people aren't given information that's correct. So it's anyway. I wasn't trying to philosophize, but just I know what you're saying. Yeah, he loves the dictators, though. Okay. Gurkha. Politicians. Oh, I already read that. Oh, I skipped around. Look at me. Because that's the truth and they know it. Okay. Harper. So many things. Oh, I got that one too. See, it scrolls up. Sorry about this. Harper. Common sense isn't so common, it would seem. Shippadeo 7. Pat and Harper, those white people who claim that black people have a privilege to use welfare and other things. Really? No one can travel a lot with that kind of welfare like that. Well, I'm not sure what you guys were talking about before, if I missed something, but white people use welfare more than black people in the numbers. That's a fact because there's more of them. Just how it goes. Percentage wise, probably black, brown, indigenous people have it more, but not by the numbers. Just by the percentage of people in the population, but white people use it more than anybody, numbers wise. So I'm not sure what you mean. Being on welfare is, let's just say, it's not like you're rolling in dough, okay? I've never seen such a stingy program in my life. It's nothing like, oh, now I'm set for life. Ronald, hello, I hope you're here still, kind of blabbing. Being on welfare you're not exactly, like throwing money up and like, yeah. So I don't know what, people will use any excuse to, people don't understand They don't understand what Jim Crow, black codes, sundown towns, Devil's Punch Bowl, um, all these different ways to guarantee and make sure that Black, Brown, and Indigenous people are kept in their place. So I just wasn't sure. Maybe I missed some conversation up above. Who is saying that? That's I didn't know. I didn't see anyone say that. So that's what I was kind of wondering. Ship a day 7. Um, any type of ship a day. How do Black people have any sort of privilege? Well, if you're rich, you have economic privilege. There's 1,000 types of privilege, but right now we're mostly focusing on cultural, privilege of being white and what's valued in our. Yeah, I just didn't see. What I'm trying to say is I didn't see anybody say that. So did somebody say that? Let me just a question about SCOTUS hearing. Oh, scrolling up. Whatever happened to the constitutional mandate separation of church and state? Why is this not an issue? Well, I definitely, it is an issue, but the person has to do something where you can prove it. And since you can't, I think it's a great question. And I'm not an expert, and I'm not an attorney by any means. But you can't. Part of the here's part of the whole thing is you can't force somebody to admit that their religion is influencing their. You have to prove it, and that's an incredibly hard thing to prove. So it's basically here's an example. In the in the Civil Rights Act, Title 9, being racist does not have to have intent. Okay, and there's a reason for that. And I'm just saying. Side note: Trump sicked his lawyers on that, and of course they were like, "No, you're not changing that." But he tried to actually change that so that there was intent. If you have to prove intent, nobody's racist in America. They'll just say, "No, I didn't mean that." Intent doesn't matter for that, but proving stuff, if you had to, would be impossible. So I think that's kind of, I'm not sure, Ronald, if that's kind of what you mean, but yeah, with regards to, Trump is supported by the Tea Party. So, and there are these like supposed, I don't think they're religious. I think they're more cultish and obviously not. If your religion teaches you to be an asshole, I think you're not doing your religion right. Okay. Sorry. I just thought I'd say that. I mean, if your religion requires you to be horrifically inhumane, just a shot in the dark guess here. You're probably doing it wrong. Okay, I'm just saying. I don't know much about religion, and I just a guess. Or maybe you're doing it absolutely right, and you're going by direct scripture, and your analysis of it is kind of like word for word rather than I guess literal, you could say. But anyway, um, let me see. I'm gonna back up because okay, ship. Okay, let me go back because I want to understand what ship a day. Show a day. I'm saying ship it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a reading specialist, by the way. Sorry, I'm turning myself in. I can't read with beans. Show a day. I think I'm saying it wrong, but I'm probably still saying it wrong. Let me back up to get that. Harper. I had no idea how many of my white friends are racist. I really didn't. I've walked away from many friends through all this. Yes, I tried to educate them before I walked away, of course. Harper, I think that's awesome. I have seen you and followed you, and you are wonderful. And I've seen your amazing growth, and hopefully you've seen me move along. For white folks, just to be real about this, we're in an anti-racism continuum that we'll never really get there. We will never know what it's like to be a Black, Brown, or Indigenous person living in a place that values as tied for number one money and systemic racism and whiteness. I think it's a tie. Maybe some days it's different, but we will never know. We are not ever going to know. But we sure as heck can try to understand and learn the plight of our fellow humans. It's what we should do for everybody. So that we keep white folks don't have to be perfect. They just have to care and try. And like I always say, we're going to make mistakes. and we're going to feel really stupid, and we're going to screw up, and just learn from it. I make mistakes all the time. I really do. It's really hard. We're indoctrinated at birth to believe white is right. White is right. No one needs to say it to us. We're indoctrinated by our society, everything around us. White is right. I mean, if you look at one of my videos I did on how I got indoctrinated to have implicit bias, I named like 4 things in the video, things I remember as a kid. Nobody explained to me any of no one told me about redlining. I didn't know this was all purposeful. This is a little white kid. My parents never said a word. I was raised in the era of colorblindness. I don't see color, but I did. So it was really confusing. When I was 6 years old, I saw color. I didn't see it like for what it was like in our society because I was not that bright. No, I'm just kidding. I was a child. I just was like, whatever. But I saw it, but nobody talked about it. So we just weren't supposed to talk about it. So it's a toughie. But you're wonderful, Harper. Pat and Harper, those white people who claim that Black people have a privilege to use welfare. Okay, that's where I'm. Harper, can you take a horse to the water? But you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That is true. He got treatment paid for by taxpayers, and he's not one of them. Good point. But yeah, among other things. Harper, Shippity, what are you talking about? Yeah, Harper, I read some. This is what I read some comments from some whites on Facebook. Yeah, I think it's really hard to get a feel on Facebook because if you are in the groups that you're in, usually like it's right now it's more homogenous than ever. It's like there are like I don't know how to say it, and I'm guilty of the same thing. I personally, I'm sick of this stuff. This is crazy. I mean, I'm a white person. I'm sick of it. I can't imagine people who have to live this shit every day, how sick of it they are. But I don't want to hear there's no debate. It's not a controversial issue. I'm sorry. It's not. There's nothing controversial about it other than you're being a racist asshole. I mean, people say, oh, angry soccer mom, you should go debate Trump supporters. There's no debate. What am I going to say? You're a jackass. What am I going to say? Like, that's the debate. I'm going to call them names. People who are like this, I mean, true, like, bought into it. What's the debate? They don't believe that our fellow humans that are worthy of equity. I'm not debating that. I mean, that just speaks to their character. So there's no debate. So it's kind of crazy. So I'm like, I'm not going to debate a Trump supporter. What am I going to say? You're a very, very cruel, unkind person. And all I can say is I hope to hell you don't know what you're really doing. Because if you do, I don't know. But I'm not debating it. Honestly, if there was a debate, I would. But there's no debate. It's like, I don't know. I'm going on and on. Pat. This is from Shoday7. Pat. They said some stupid things about the Blacks, like they get food stamps, welfare from white taxpayers, buying expensive tennis shoes are unimportant things. Yeah, they don't understand. They are, when they don't want to understand. And they are incorrect. Categorically incorrect. Right? What they're doing is they're listening to probably Fox News, who apparently isn't deemed truthful enough to really be news. I don't know if you heard about the lawsuit that somebody sued them and it got thrown out because the calling was basically anyone with a freaking mind would know that they're full of it. I mean, that's almost unfair because clearly there are people who don't. Lots of people. It's state-run news. It's state-run news as far as I can tell. All right, I'm blabbing, but great question, Ronald. Thank you for explaining Shuade. I think I understand what you're saying, and you're getting a sampling of. It's a sampling. It's just a sampling. The overall picture is very spread out, but I'm sorry to say, in general, that is our culture. Why do I say this? How do I know this? Do Black, brown, and indigenous people have equity in this country? I mean, equity, equal equity. Not equality for everything, but equity, the chance to have equality. Absolutely not. And so that tells me everything. Do we have the basically the modern day leader of the Ku Klux Klan as president? That we do. Therefore, that is the will of white people in America right now. Not all of us, but enough of us that we still have this guy. So I'm just being real. Just being real. Nails and glitter, welcome. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, so you're getting a sampling and it's disgusting. These a lot of people don't know our real racial history. They don't know what redlining is. They don't know what sundown towns are. They do not understand how our government at every level purposely, knowingly tried to and succeeded in a lot of ways to stop Black, Brown, and Indigenous African American people from accumulating wealth. I mean, we did whatever we could. And if people persevered, we did something else. I mean, if you know a real racial history, which these people you're talking to, Shode, obviously they have no clue. Talking to ignorant people is really not worth your time because sometimes people just make up lies. And so it's like if you can just make up stuff, I mean, it's a fantasy. So anyway, you gotta pick and choose who you talk to. You'll go crazy because a lot of people do not care to know the truth. They just want, confirmation bias. They want to be told you are right. You are right. All Black people are horrible. You are right. Well, what are you going to do? No, all of anybody is anything. So anyway, I hope I'm not skipping people. Let me see. Thanks for explaining that. I really appreciate it. And that's what we do on this. We're here to talk and understand. So I didn't understand. Shuade, when you said that, I was like, what? Are you saying they said something? But you're saying other white people said something. And so I understand. Yeah, just thanks for clarifying. I appreciate that. What I always say is, and I'm not perfect, but always ask questions. And you'll find out that you're probably closer in understanding once you ask questions. So I tend to ask questions. Let me see. I'm skipping all the stuff here. I don't want to skip anybody. Harper's way. Are you saying that the ignorant whites who get offended by white privilege say that? There we go. Nails and glitter. Hello. I'm going to just scroll up for a minute and make sure. Yeah, okay. I think I covered everything. If I didn't, just put your comment down. I'm really bad because it keeps scrolling. All right. Ramses. Olson, Kentucky, KY, which is all white town, is the highest recipient of welfare in America. Yeah, I mean, we have the numbers as white people. We have a huge percentage higher. And so, yes, this white folks get what, the whole thing. Welfare's not exactly a party. People make it like Yahoo welfare. I think people starve on welfare, quite frankly. It's really awful, personally. But I'm just saying. I have plenty of friends who receive welfare, and this is no party. This is not like, oh, we're rich. It's like, no, you still can't afford anything. Okay, let me just. Do you think if there was more Blacks that were on welfare, it would have been cut out? Ah ha ha. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pat. Yep. There are more people on welfare for the Blacks, and that's a fact. Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. Harper. Well, I think it's been proven because she won't answer questions that only require yes or no. Harris and Klobuchar can't spell. Ask her questions about the law. She dances around it. I'm not sure. I must have skipped some people. Oh my gosh. Because I cannot understand. I'm not sure where this is coming from. I'll go back. Go back. Back. All right. Tell me more, Harper, because I'm not sure who she is. I think I might have skipped people. Sorry about that. Harper, I said exactly that to a Black friend. I said, I will never know what it's like to be Black. Yep. And I think that's a really powerful thing to say. A lot of times, and I know as a white person, like, oh, I understand. Well, it's like, no, you don't. You don't. I'm sorry. You don't understand. You can try to understand. You can want to understand, but we will never know. And that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. But when people say, oh, I totally understand. I broke a nail once too. It's like, oh my God, it's belittling. This is a system, history of brutal, abuse and terrorism. Um, so yeah, um, Harper. Yes, I was raised with white is right. I went to grade school where one of your parents had to be Italian. Yes, a Catholic school. I thought it was normal. My parents and extended family taught me. Yeah, you were raised with what you're raised with, and you don't when you're little, you don't know. You don't know that it's. I thought all families. Well, confession. I thought all families were evil to just horrible, horrible, horrible to each other, and that they just fake it in front of everyone else. Because my family was so. I was like, then I got to college and I'm like, dang, some parents are actually really, really, really sweet and nice to their kids. And I was like, okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, I just thought that was the way it was. Okay. Um, let me just catch up here. Let me see here. Oh my gosh. I'm way behind. Shibwe, Pat. That's because there's the largest white population in the US. More Europeans agree still moving to America and Canada. Harper, racism. I'm glad. Oh, I'm glad. Blah, blah, blah. I'm so glad I held on to the common sense I was born with. Good, good. We need this. We need this. It's a kind of an entity that we don't have a lot of in this nation. Clearly, um, Pat, if the average white person had to endure the racist crap black people have to deal with, they would not handle it. 100% agree. Absolutely. Not that you needed me to confirm that, but absolutely. No, we can't even handle talking about it. Okay? We literally just can't. Oh my God. I've had people shush me for saying the word black. I'm like, black. And they're like, oh, it's like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but Jesus Christ, if you can't talk about it, how are, how's anything going to change? If we white people can't talk about it, I've been shushed. Like if I say, oh, da, 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 and I say the word black, don't say that. I mean, I'm like, why? It's, I mean, obviously it's a terrible thing to them. I mean, we got issues. We got issues in this country. We do. Um, but yeah. Um, yes. Show a day 7. When they come to America, they're told not to mix and mingle with black people here. Oh, are they? I don't know because I, I have no friends. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not in the real world, I guess. But I know we have a culture of white supremacy, so it's very, very dominating. The playing field needs to be leveled. Pat, Africans were also told to stay away from Black Americans as well. They are. They were. Dang, that's some serious. Um, welfare is for corporations in you. Nails and glitter. Oh, in us. Oh, okay, okay. I'm like, what? I'm like, tell me. Welfare is for corporations in us. I still think you need to tell me more. Okay, somebody is writing, and it's not English, so I can't read it, unfortunately. No one cares about your white guilt, and this is coming from a minority. No one likes this politically correct garbage shoved down their throats. Um, I don't consider, as glad you said something. Um, I don't consider this politically correct garbage, um, but I consider it talking about social issues in a very open and honest way. Um, I'm not sure where to go with this, and I don't want to be rude, but um, the experience of no group in America, shy of some indigenous people who might actually be black people, but and that we committed some serious genocide. There's no experience that is an equivalent to, not that you compare, with the enslavement of human beings generation after generation after generation. So, with all due respect, um, how do you know? I don't think this is, how would you know? I mean, have you ever been a black person in America? Was was your grandma not allowed to read and her parents were enslaved? No. So you don't know. So you got to really drop the attitude. Um, it's white privilege doesn't mean your life is easy. It doesn't mean, woohoo, you're wealthy. I don't feel guilty. Not one bit. I'm pissed. You're confusing my passion with guilt. Maybe you have guilt for the way you've treated people. I maybe I should, but I don't. I don't recall anything I've done that's like incredibly overtly racist, other than exist and live in a society, maybe not knowing, which is, truly important as you grow up. But this isn't guilt. I'm pissed. I don't know what else to say. I'm pissed. I don't want to live in a society like this. It's not right. We have to evolve. I mean, we have to act human. So I'm sorry you feel that way, and I don't want to, dwell on it. But I'm really glad you said something. Politically correct would mean you actually feel a different way, but you're acting this way to fit in. I'm not acting this way to fit in. I've thought this my whole life. I was born this way. When I was 6 years old, I was like, what the actual F? I didn't know what I was seeing, but I saw a homeless black man, and I didn't know he was black. I just knew I didn't quite, I was a slow child, okay? I just knew that I was 6. I didn't know. I knew something. Why are we passing him by? He needs help. Why isn't anyone helping him? What's going on here? I looked at my mother. Her face didn't change. I'm like, what? I can see he needs help. He needs us. What are we doing? I was born this way. Um, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't think like this is politically correct. Maybe some people are. They're like, what I really think is this, but that's being politically correct is when you really think, screw black people, da da da, and then yes, black people are equal, that's politically correct. When there's a dissonance, a cognitive dissonance between how you really feel, I don't have that. I have black and brown people in my family, and so like that I love with all my heart. Um, So anyway, I'm blabbing, but I wanted to really clarify that because a lot of people say, "Oh, you're just saying that out of guilt." It's like, oh God, if you only knew. I am not saying it out of guilt. I'm pissed. This is ridiculous. We have systemic racism in 2020. My God, grow the beep up, people. So anyway, I'm blabbing. I'm done. I can see that I'm not. Do I seem like I'm politically correct talking to you? I'm not evil, but no, I'm saying you don't get it. Is what I'm saying, and I'm glad you're listening. But I get that a lot. People say like, "Oh, you're just guilty." No, I'm not. Pissed. Okay. Anyway, enough about that. Okay, back. But no, I appreciate you jumping in. Okay. Feel free. Okay. Did you know that everyone who is born in the U.S., Pat, is on the stock exchange? Explain that. What do you mean? What do you mean? Um, oh, Harper responding to Ronald. Got it. Okay. United States. Nails and glitter. I'm lost. Kim, he can't handle the truth about white privilege. A lot of white folks and even some. Here's the thing. We got to recognize that if you're brown, black, indigenous, or if you can pass for, white or something that technically you're not categorized as, we're all indoctrinated. Do you know Republicans who are black who love Trump, even though he's a racist piece of shit? Of course. I mean, we're all indoctrinated and stuff. It makes me really sad when anyone's indoctrinated, but we're all. It's powerful. So I mean, it's very powerful, and to one degree or another. A lot of people feel like people from Asia, which there are, you know, scores of countries in Asia. It's people think everyone's Chinese. Well, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They're like 48 or 52. I'm listening that like 48 countries in Asia. Give me a break. Um, with totally different cultures, totally different lifestyles, totally different languages. Like, give me a break. But everybody comes with their own baggage, and this is a conversation. Um, okay, let me see. Let me see. Um, okay. Hi, Anton. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry, I'm losing it because a lot of little conversations. Um, Harper, it's not white guilt. We're talking about the real things that need change. Thank you, Harper. You're good. You get it. Um, let me see here. I gotta back up because I know I'm skipping people. Oh, shooty. I'm curious. What do you think of Black Lives Matter and Antifa? Me or like somebody else? Me? Oh, um, 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 um. I fully support the Black Lives Matter movement and their actual, like the actual black, not somebody who says, "Oh, I represent Black Lives Matter," but the actual, real Black Lives, 110%. And I am so freaking proud to say that because it's about God. Oh, sorry, Pat. It's about gosh darn time that white folks are actually starting to get this, and it'll only benefit us. And I love it because you know what? Until Black Lives Matter, all lives will never matter. Never. They won't. So I 100,000% support it. Um, absolutely. And Antifa is not really. Antifa is kind of like an ideology. I hate to say it. Anti-fascism. I am against fascism. Do I go out and do things that will, you know, get me in trouble with law? No. But I think there's a place for an anti-fascism organization, but it's not a tight knit thing. If you, maybe you know more about it than I do, but I've looked into it rather extensively, and nobody there will give me an interview because they don't really have a centralized leadership. It's an ideology, and anti-fascism is, you know, is definitely, we are headed that way, if not already there. Sadly, Trump circumvented the Constitution every way, shape, and form. He has gotten away with literally murder. Just ask the 200,000 people who died of COVID. Oh, that's right, you can't because they're dead. I find that to be unconscionable. And I'm sorry if I'm hurting people's feelings, but that. Sure, every one of them wouldn't have lived, but for the love of God, you do something. You act, you take action to save people. What he has done, which is absolutely nothing or worse than nothing, by telling people, oh, it's fine, go out and make everyone sick. He's a real sicko. And the people who support him, right there with him. But anyway, just my opinion. Um, okay. I'm glad you're here, Anton. If you're still here, you don't want to run away. Harper, shove down your throat? Then why are you listening? Yeah, I don't think anyone here is trying to shove anything down anyone's throat. But that being said, it might feel that way because you're probably hearing it over and over again from people who are very, very passionate. Some of us white folks, not probably a ton, but some of us are really freaking sick of this shit from other white people. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm just saying. And I mean, I taught school in Compton, California during the LA riots when I was a little 23-year-old. And I saw, my kids were my first babies. I didn't have kids. They were my first children. All 37 of them packed into one classroom this big. And sometimes I'd take 5 more because kids would act up on the other side. Broke up fights every single day. We had 7 shootouts in our neighborhood in a 8-month period. I'm talking gunfire in the neighborhood where we had a yellow alert, where everybody had to duck, and I had to get my children to get down, lock the door, and stay down. And they'd laugh and say, "Oh, this happens all the time," you know? And I'd be like, "Humor me, get down. I'm supposed to be watching over you. Come on." And I loved my babies, and my kids would come, and they were so impoverished, and their parents worked two, three jobs, all nighters. These kids were raising themselves because their parents were literally working so many hours. And gangs were out of control. And the LA riots came and they burned the whole place down. Pretty much. They didn't burn our school down, which was cool. But I saw what redlining does. I saw what keeping people impoverished so they cannot make ends meet does to a community. It's I don't know. I'm just going on. I'm not guilty. I'm angry, right? Um, okay. I gotta scooch down here. Oh, I hit the bottom. Yay. Okay. Um, Harper. Antifa is a made up terrorist group made up by 45. Yeah, well, it's not really a group. Um, Deutsch is German. Okay, now I'm really skipping things. Okay, Kim. Anyone who is born here in the US is on the stock exchange. You know those numbers on the back bottom of your birth certificate? It's linked to the stock exchange. We are collateral to the United States. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I guess, yeah. We'll chat. You'll have to explain more. Um, okay. Dutch troll, just kidding. German troll. Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm going backwards, of course, because I'm skipping things. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? No, I don't know. I do not speak German. No, yo hablo español, pero no estoy muy bueno, pero yo trato y yo quiero. Oh, shut up. Okay, I need lessons. But no, I do not speak German. Do you? Okay. Gary, Trump supporters. A pastor told me Trump isn't racist because of Ben Carson. I said my black friends have a different opinion. He changed the topic to abortion. Well, he has a black friend who's a little cuckoo. Yeah, that's when I have a black friend thing. It's really scary. People are just they just don't get it. We're all humans. Oh my god, race is just a label. Oh my goodness. Let me see here. Jeremy, hello. The new appointee for the Supreme Court seems stone cold. Um, she does certainly have that side to her. She's got some weird stuff going on, really weird stuff. Um, I don't get her. I don't think she's lying. I just think that's truly what she believes. I think she's very anti-LGBTQ. I don't. I cannot say she's a racist, but I certainly don't think she's probably read Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow like Bill Gates is doing right now. Yep. So I'm just saying. The word is that he is reading that book, which I think is awesome and amazing. And all white folks should, not because, oh, it's a punishment, right? Because we need to learn. It's not a punishment. It's learning about our own racial history sets us free. It's not. It's not punishing us. It's. I'm just doing this because I'm sweating like crazy. Okay. It's not punishing us. It's educating us. Let me see where we are. What is it? What is it? Yeah, she's cold. It's definitely. I mean, I know she's under scrutiny right now, under tremendous pressure, and I never saw her before. She does come across as having a kind of a wall that she hits, or that's it. Um, I don't get it. He picked her for a reason. Trump promised every appointee that he would get would be completely anti-abortion. Um, I get that. Trump is not anti-abortion. I saw him. If he'll say he is, he's lying. I mean, like he does everything else. I saw him on the Howard Stern show years ago, begging his girlfriend, his lover, or whatever he did, to have an abortion. Literally begging her on public, you know, Howard Stern radio, whatever. So yeah, no. That was I saw that live. So nice try on that. But no, he's acquiescing to the Tea Party, and that's what he does. He needs someone to, you know, stand up for him or whatever. But yeah, something is he picked her because he promised the Tea Party he would over try to overturn Roe versus Wade. And a lot of people just don't get abortion. They just don't get it. Now, I won't tell you what my real feelings about abortion are because I'm not. It's neither here nor there. Who cares what my real feelings are about abortion? But I can say that a lot of third trimester abortions are excruciatingly horrible decisions. I'm not pro that. For example, I've read a lot about this, and and I think almost all of them are the child is so gone, like they don't have a brain, they don't have this, they're going to come out and it just they're going to be dead. I'm not saying pro or con, but I've read stories. Please read stories. Don't just say, oh, there's someone who decided they didn't want a kid too late. It's not been my experience from what I've read. It just hasn't been. I'm not into murdering children. I love kids. Um, but here's the problem. I've also read a ton about abortion, and it won't stop people from getting abortions. It'll just make abortions extremely unsafe. And, you can say, well, philosophically, it's still wrong and all that, sure. But I don't know. Right now in America, there are 7 states where you can be forced to share custody with your rapist if you choose to have the baby. I'll say that again. Share custody with your convicted rapist. I'm doing a video on it. I almost did a video on it back then. There are also practically every state but Delaware in America, welcome to America, your parents can force you, if you're underage, not if you're old enough, if you're underage, to marry your rapist. So they do not basically, get a criminal. It's not a criminal offense. Yep, you heard me correctly. Anyway, people are like, shut up and keep going. Anyway, I'm blabbing. Anyway, would you be interested in running for president of the United States? Very cute, very cute, very cute. Okay. I'm gonna find my spot and stick to it. That was very cute. Gary, she is the Pitts Christian zealot, has no business as a judge. Yeah, I mean, look anyone he picks is gonna be, yeah, you know, I don't know. Just her stance on LGBTQ makes me sick. I'm going to tell you that right now. How judgmental? How dare she? I want to know. So my question would be to her if I could go up to her. You guys are going to kill me. I want to know exactly where she was when she told her parents she was straight. That's what I want to know. If she remembers where she was and how she told them. It's not a choice. That is ridiculous and uneducated and obnoxious. And I'm not bagging on her religion. I'm bagging on her. It's obnoxious. Is there still I'm still here. Just got done for the day. Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. I am way behind because I remember asking that. Harper, I was talking to that person who accused us of white guilt. Gotcha. Government's sole purpose is to maintain the wealth of the wealthy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Harper, I was responding to this fellow saying, who cares about your white guilt? This is coming from minority. Da, da, da. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jeremy, fostering cynical environments only breeds people's character to become greedy and have nothing to lose. Nihilism sets in and morals are only viewed as limitations to fulfill their desires and survival. I'm just kind of going on thinking that maintaining poor communities serves no favors for anyone. Yeah, it sounds. I think I get what you mean. That's a mouthful, but yeah, we got a messed up thing going here. Um, Harper, she is repeating what 45's handlers told her to say. Oh, I'm sure. Jeremy. Oh, I already got you. Thank you, Shua Day. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. That makes my day. Thank you. Thank you. I hit the button again. Ah. Okay. Thank you, Pat. If you to Kim, if you YouTube birth certificate on the stock exchange, you'd see what I'm talking about. Okay, I can do that. Mr. FS Black, hello, welcome. Just about all these politics are a politician, I guess you meant, are hypocrites. Mm-hmm. I would tend to agree. They have like they're morally bankrupt, I guess you could say. Morally bankrupt is kind of like people say, "Oh, Trump's so rich." Not to me, he's not. He's I don't I don't look at him as a wealthy person. I look at him as a pathetic person. He's the poorest rich person I have ever heard of in my lifetime. He's pathetic. I and right, and he's not rich, right, Jackson? He's not right. He's on borrowed time. His money's due. And part of my next subject I wanted to do with you guys, if you don't mind, is yeah, right, 750 in taxes. Yeah, no, he's con man. He's con artist. He is a con man. Um, is how much money he's making off of the Oh my God, is he making money off of us, the people, and the presidency? Oh my God, it's the emolument clause is like explosion, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit if you guys don't mind. I know it's kind of boring, but you gotta hear all the things he's making millions off of this presidency. He's not gonna catch up to where it was. He'll never make enough to pay his debt, but the man is a lying sack of shit. I'm sorry, he lies. And you know what he does after he lies? He lies more, and then more and more. I've never seen anything like this. Um, and you know what the craziest part is? A lot of his lies are like ridiculous. Like he'll say something and say I didn't say that. It's just like, oh my God, the man he's a mess. It's beyond. It's a joke. That's why people who follow him, I think, like I don't get it. But okay. Um, Harper. Most people don't realize that 45 has crossed party lines throughout his life. Absolutely. And he's a Democrat more than oh, absolutely. Um, do I want to know another scary thought? Sure, bring it on. He's not rich. Oh yeah. No, I know. I know. He's lying. He is in debt and he's a failure. Um, and it's not because he's in debt. He's a failure because he's an immoral human being. He could have used his money to do amazing things, but instead, he uses his money to do cruel, sick things to people who are already marginalized. He's a sicko, a real sicko. That's for sure. Um, Jeremy, sometimes I wonder what would happen if we decide to revive the Federalist Party in this era. I do not know. Finally, someone who was saying, "I hope you're talking about me." No, just kidding. I don't know. I'm not really saying Harper, but his supporters say he's not even collecting his presidential. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I have to say something about that. Harper, I did my first interview. I was like basically shitting in my britches, okay, because I went up to this little mini. It was a mini Trump rally, and it was. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, and spelling, but that's it. Okay, sorry. Back to where I was. I went to this mini thing, and I had my little pride flag out, and I like hit it, and I went and I did an interview with these people. Cause I wasn't. I say these people, and I know that sounds rude, but they, they were delusional. I couldn't believe it. They're like, he's not even taking a salary. I'm like, that means nothing to him. He said he's going to give his salary to the people. I'm like, oh my god, like I don't even know where to start. Um, Let me read. Yes, I didn't even know where to start with these people because they were in his salary means he's gotten multi millions. He doesn't care about his salary. He's going to give it to the people. What are they going to get? Like a billionth of a penny each? I mean, it was just crazy. It's an interview. If you ever want to see something really scary, I did it because I wanted to know. I wanted to know like, why they're doing this. Why? And I came back empty. Like, I don't know. I learned nothing but I learned that that's really scary. And one of the guys actually threatened me to shoot me. So I left, and that wasn't good. Um, Let me see here. I'm gonna go back up, but Jackson, if Donald Trump gets another 4 years, yeah, democracy's over. It might still be over if he doesn't. I don't know that we can. I mean, we're late stage democracy. We have allowed our populace to get uneducated, to not be real, to not continue to move on. We've allowed for an ignorant populace, and they are following a man who will walk them to their own grave. And that's why I say if you're doing a vote, if you're thinking of voting this conscience vote, if you think it's bad now, Trump gets another 4 years. We're done. King, King Trump. He knows if he, I mean, it might be too late. Now, our Democratic Republic is, if we can save it somehow. The way I look at it is this. Um, oh, good, Jackson. Good. Good. That makes me really happy. Good. Do it. We're not voting for a person. We're voting for our democracy, or whatever it's worth, our oligarchy, our pseudo regime. Call it what you want. Um, oh, Shuade, thank you so much for being here. I'm really thrilled that you were so like into it and talkative. And please come back. That was awesome. Really cool having you. Thank you for being here. That was really special. Now I have to back up, back, because I skipped people. Um, yeah. Dixon. Not only will Roe v. Wade and the ACA be gone, but elections will be compromised as well. Yeah, and they already are being compromised, actually. Absolutely. Um, this is insane what we're doing with our elections in the South right now. And California, I mean, Trump's telling people to put their votes into mailboxes that are not collecting votes. I mean, this is nuts. But Jeremy, gotcha. The Federalist Party was actually considered the first political party in American history in which they promoted a strong national government, often very supportive of the Constitution. Yeah, I don't know a lot about the Federalist Party, to be honest, but I think I need to be looking up some research, so I will definitely do that. Kim, it's called Stock Market Birth Certificate. How much are you worth? Um, well, I see what you're saying, but I'd like to think that I'm priced. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's, we're in like capitalism was meant to be an economic and you know for our economy and economics, not a lifestyle. It's become a lifestyle, I have to say. Um, Let me see. Um, 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 yeah, I think that's great to step up to the plate and vote. I love it. It's awesome. Absolutely. Um, and I think I got everybody. I'm not sure. Jackson. In Texas, Greg Abbott is only allowing one mailbox per county. Yes, I saw that. You stole my quote. I actually have that in my writing tonight for my notes for this. Yeah. What a little you know what. Unbelievable. The voter suppression is surreal. It's really bad. Um, yeah, voting is it's our only chance, and we really need to be on top of it. So let me tell you a few things, and you might know this already, about the money our dear, yes, that was sarcasm, president, which I'll never look at him as a president. He's a pathetic, mentally ill man um, who kills people. This is crazy. We all know that Trump is a really, really corrupt, dishonest president. I think that's generally a very, very easy thing to say. Um, he's probably the most dishonest and corrupt president. I mean, in my lifetime for sure. But most people don't know just precisely how incredibly corrupt and dishonest he is. And that's mostly because of the sheer volume that, the sheer numbers. The Trump presidency has been one giant bundle of thousands and thousands of acts of corruption, mixing his own business interests with the presidency. And it is fair to say that this is probably the most conflict of interest ever for any president because it's off the charts. And I think this is happening for two reasons. First of all, Trump refuses to follow the traditional, what every president really has done since Lyndon Johnson has chosen to do, which is to either sell off their investments before taking office or seal them in abided trust to avoid the appearance of profiting. The whole thing is you don't want to profit from the presidency. Well, he actually does, and he's pretty blatant about it. The law doesn't require this to be done, and that's the problem. But the law does require that the president follow the emoluments clause. So, and that's in our Constitution. So there's no undue influence from other nations. So Trump's getting away with a lot, and he's tying a lot of it up in litigation. And he's also making a ton of news. The news cycle is like 24 freaking hours instead of like a week or two or three. It's hard for anyone to keep up. The second reason, so he basically kept his businesses and is using them to profit. And has he profited? I had to cut this part down because, oh my God, the list of stuff he's profited from is overwhelming. The second reason Trump is under such scrutiny is linked to the first. Trump broke this decades of tradition and refuses to release his tax returns. So not only is he keeping his presidency and his personal work intermingled like that, he won't show anybody what he's really doing with his taxes. So we don't know who he's beholden to. So we don't know the full scope of how, or not whether, but how his business interests have conflicted. Not whether, because they have. So that's Jackson. Exactly. I want to know who the hell he owes $400 million to. Thank you. I think that's in our best interest to know. It's clearly not a person in the United States. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's one person or a bazillion or what, but he is beholden to somebody else. And I think we kind of knew that. And either way, this is con man criminal behavior. And he uses the law to get away with it because that's what he does. Just yesterday, Gary, I will never be able to make sense or understand this dark time. We are going to be, people are going to look back, I'll tell you, not to be mean, but people are going to look back and go, what the actual fuck? They're going to say, what was wrong with these people? Just like we do when we say, why, oh, why did people allow the Holocaust? We're going to look, and why, oh, why did people allow the enslavement of our fellow humans? We're going to be like, what was wrong with them? We're right there with them. So don't ever ask those questions because we know. We know now. There were dissenters in Nazi Germany. There have always been, to one extent or another, abolitionists. Sometimes their abolition wasn't exactly what we would think of as, but there have always been that kind of thing. Yet, look what, don't ever ask why, because we know. because we're living it right now. We know how things can be allowed to happen. People look back on caging children and taking from their parents and not keeping track of where they went so that they're gone. So that Betsy DeVos gets to stick them in her orphanage and sell them for profit. I mean, you guys, history is going to be just cruel. And I think we've earned it. I think we've earned it. I'm just saying. Just saying. Anyway, I'm blabbing on and on. Let me just quickly, I know it's probably getting late. Of course, I'm blabbing on and on. Oh, go back, go back, go back, go back. Ah, thank you. Oh, way back. Okay, Jeremy. I heard Putin is playing proxy games with countries again, and he's funding wars between American, Azerbaijan. I can't say it. Azerbaijan. Am I saying it right? I'm not saying it right. While they are fighting against each other, basically making money with bloodshed in the middle. I have no doubt. No doubt at all. If you have any articles on that, send them my way, okay? Because I want to. There's just so much going on. I can't keep up. I hope that was what I was supposed to read. Okay. Thank you. That helps me. Please tell me you're not doing it again. Let me see here. Let me just go through here. As I learned from Hamilton, history has its eyes on you. I actually got to go. My friend took me to Hamilton, like to the play, and not that that's who we were talking about, but it was like amazing. Okay, most Americans are descendants of immigrants. There aren't many Native American descent. Well, probably we did them in, but land was stolen and then built by people stolen. Yeah, it is. So with Trump, yesterday it was reported that Trump filed another emergency request with the Supreme Court to stop the release of his taxes. That was yesterday. President Trump asked the Supreme Court to block the lower court's decision that would give the Manhattan District Attorney access to years of his income returns. The Manhattan District Attorney is seeking Trump's tax returns and other records as an ongoing criminal investigation. So what crime did Trump do that the district attorney in Manhattan wants to see his taxes for? Let me tell you. The district attorney is seeking his tax returns and other records as part of a probe that examines the hush money payments to the women that he allegedly had sex with. And they want to know where that money was accounted for by the Trump organization. Of course, Trump has denied having sex with either woman, the pornography star and then the Playboy model, but Trump did admit to the payoffs, kind of. Well, his attorney did, so give me a break. So what conflict of interest has Trump had while president? And did he make money off the presidency? I could talk about this for 2 hours, but I won't because it's kind of boring. I consulted this research group called Citizens for the Responsibility and Ethics in Washington to do a brief overview. They're called CREW, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. CREW has tallied 2,310 conflicts of interest that have come from President Trump's decision to retain his business interests. Nobody does that, but he does that. It wasn't a law. Trump has allowed one thing. If not, he has allowed us to see where tradition meets law. And a lot of these things were tradition. And when they were law, from what I've read, there's not a lot of follow through with the ability to do anything with the law to stop them. There's no people in charge to stop them. It's illegal, but who's gonna, get them? So we've definitely found all these holes in our system. I guess a lot of these people just thought were laws, but they're tradition. So Trump's doing whatever the hell he wants. Um, there have been blatant conflicts of interest that earn Trump millions and millions. Um, so why not let politicians profit from personally from their position? Why not? What do we mean? We don't want them to make money? The founding fathers were extremely worried about undue influence that money from other countries and from within could cause. So our Constitution has something called an emolument clause, which basically says that the people holding an office can't profit from that office. My original goal was to list all these ways that Trump was having conflicts of interest, but there were too many. There was just too darn many. So here's some of the most startling ones, but there were way more. This article went on and on. Um, I'll try to ramble through this. The president has visited his properties 362 times at the expense of taxpayers during his administration. 362, establishing them as the center of political power. Trump spent um, every 1 day out of 3 he's been president at one of his Trump branded properties. So approximately a third of his time has been spent at those properties on the taxpayers' dollars. But he owns those properties, so the money goes to him. Seriously? Um, Trump regularly hosts the following groups at his own properties. I just listed these: foreign governments, his own administrative people, fundraising committees, and scores of Republican governors at Trump properties, golf courses, all over the place. We are paying for him to get the money. I mean, it's just crazy. Um, Members of Congress have flocked to Trump's properties despite their constitutional oversight and responsibility they have to provide a check on the executive branch. Um, this is out of control. In all, the RNC and other Republican Party groups have had 28 events at his properties, huge events. Political groups alone have spent $5.9 million on Trump properties. Truth is that more than a decade prior to his run for president, Trump was not making money. Trump's business, according to these crew people, Trump's business never received more than $100,000 from political groups in a single year. Now they're getting millions. Shock of shocks. A major question came into play regarding corruption and conflict of interest when Trump used the White House as the backdrop for his GOP national convention. It was obnoxious. Um, Good one, Jackson. Nero fiddled while Rome fell. Trump golfed. Bernie Sanders, you're right. I mean, it's just so crazy. It's just, and I'm not trying to skip people. I'm just like, people are having conversations, and I love it. I love it. It's awesome. But if I'm missing something, tell me. The Hatch Act, which prohibits any person from intimidating, commanding, or coercing a federal employee to participate in political activities on behalf of any candidate, it's out of control. Oh, thank you, Jeremy, for doing that. So, I mean, it's, can we say corrupt? I mean, other conflicts of interest where Trump made or will make money are he signs executive order paving the way for final construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. He has like stock in that. It's just, I mean, I don't think he's going to make $400 million or whatever he owes, but this is, yes, exactly. Jackson, exactly. Yes. He has, it's out of control. I mean, I'm just talking about him. This article is about him, his family. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And Trump's stock holdings, Phillips 66 owns 25% of that project, the Dakota Pipeline project. What the hell? I mean, with regards to Trump's stocks, there are so many unanswered questions that for the conflict of interest. Trump's transition team spokesman said that the president sold all his stocks in June 2016, a month after required financial disclosure, but they didn't furnish proof of it. Oh yeah, I mean, right, Jackson, it's out of control. Um, just reading some. Yeah, I mean, it's so since his election, Mr. Trump has singled out specific companies, criticizing them on Twitter, causing swings in the stock market. I mean, if Mr. Trump still owns these stocks, he could be selling off stuff. We don't know what he's doing. So let's just say Trump's got some serious conflicts of interest. And these are just a few little tidbits. But Trump also has some conflicting business deals with the following nations. Get a load of this, it's a long one. Argentina, Brazil, Canada, China, the Dominican Republic, Georgia, India, Indonesia, Japan, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia. Hello, where 15 of the people who did 9/11 came from, and they are not on the Muslim ban list. I am against the Muslim ban list, but I am also appalled. The country that harbored people who did terrorism aren't on that list, and I just don't get why. Maybe Trump could tell us. Taiwan and Turkey. So I rattled off a gazillion countries that he has conflict of interest. Okay, I am blabbing tonight. Why don't I wrap this up? I have so many more things to go over. But let me wrap this up with what's going on with voting, if you guys don't mind. Yeah. Oh, Jeremy, absolutely. Yep. No, he's show us your taxes, mister. That's what I want to know. I want to know where he's spending our money and what he's doing. He's gotten away with murder, and now he's taking. I mean, he's a con man. He's a swindler. That's what he does. I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on with some voter suppression, but I mean, we knew it was bad, but this is nuts. So I'll just go really quickly through this and you guys can tell me what you think. For well over 100 years, American political leaders have excelled at suppressing or intimidating voters who disagree with them. They're, mostly they're minority voters. Thank you. Thank you, Alan. Oh my gosh. I'm like honored that you're watching. Thank you. Sure, you could actually this close to the election, you can call me whatever you want. How's that? Thank you. I'm really thrilled to have you. Oh my gosh, that blew me away. Thank you. Nails and glitter. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me go. I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna go back to I'm getting all flustered. Okay. So check it out. In this election, the GOP has taken some of obnoxious low life practices beyond, like way beyond voter suppression. We're way beyond voter suppression. We're suppressing our democracy. We're actually suppressing our democracy itself. And the GOP under Trump's leadership, they're not even trying to hide this anti-democracy stuff. They're really not trying to hide it. And I don't think it's like hyperbole to say that there's a full-on assault on voting rights at the national level and in a number of states run by GOP, I guess, extremists. I don't know what else to call them. But here's a following outline that just kind of summarizes what's been happening in just October. Just October. Just October. October is not over. So this is kind of scary. I'll just mention a couple things and then I will say goodnight. I know I'm keeping everyone up probably. This is crazy shit. In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott issued an order October 1st to close all but one. Somebody mentioned that. Was that Jeremy that mentioned that? I can't remember. All but one of the where am I? The locations to drop off ballots in each county. Like, what the hell? That's They're not even trying to hide it. At least they're being proud con men and criminals and, swindlers or, and, whatever. But talk about voter suppression. So taking away the ballot drop off locations is significant, makes it significantly more inconvenient for people to vote. I mean, not that I had to say that, but purposely targeted to urban areas with large populations who historically vote for Democratic candidates. Um, Here's another one. According to the Las Vegas Sun, in Harris County, where Houston is located, there used to be 12 drop off sites. There used to be. And a federal judge found the measure to be illegal. So they were going to stop it. But a Trump appointed federal appellate court overruled it. And so now they have one per county. I didn't look into the writings of this, but dang, um, this is like, this is blatant. This is sick. Um, here's another one. Republican leadership in South Carolina, I don't even go there, won a U.S. Supreme Court victory forcing anyone using an absentee ballot to need and require a witness's signature. Basically, you have to get it notarized. You had to get it. I mean, it's crazy. We don't have a rampant voter fraud problem in America. I'm sorry, Trump wants to say we do, but we don't. His own FBI said we don't. Those are his people. Well, supposedly, I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate that, but anyway, a signature. Otherwise, you have to vote in person. So that means you have to take a risk of getting COVID. So, last one, I swear. In California, this is really bad and obnoxious. Oh, they all are. Let me see. California, the state GOP confesses. I mean, these people are confessing. It's pretty blatant. Confesses to deliberately placing fake ballot collection boxes. Just like in Pennsylvania, they sent out fake, what were they? Census cards. They sent out fake. I can't even believe I'm saying these things. It's like 10 years ago, maybe I'm naive. If I had heard myself saying, I'd be like, oh, shut up. I'd be like, what? But this is happening, people. And I can't normalize it. I wish I could. I mean, no, I don't. But I can't normalize it. This is crazy. So they admitted to they're trying to trick voters into submitting their votes into a box that doesn't take their ballot. The boxes were marked to look, of course they were, to look like official state collection points boxes. And this flagrant attempt to deceive California voters by Republicans is obnoxious. I think the only honest thing Trump's ever said about this election is that it's rigged. It's definitely rigged because it's rigged by him. It's like, anyway, we know that the GOP officials and operatives have undercut voting rights by closing and relocating polling places, establishing overly restricted verifications to measure who people are, and identifications that are expensive that you have to buy, and just doing everything they can to stop people from voting. This is an assault on democracy. And they all had a lot of head starts because of what they did at the midterm elections. They pulled all this crap at the midterm elections too. So anyway, I am going to look over, make sure I didn't skip anybody. I probably skipped too many people. Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, Jackson. Absolutely. I mean, not even counting the fact that he purposely I mean, this is crazy. Yet he still has people who are just like, okay, somebody in my family, not my direct family, but I can't even believe it, supports him. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. You got skipped. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Nails and glitter. I'll go back. How far back? Let me see. I'm so sorry. I just okay. I wasn't sure where you were some people were kind of talking within, so I'm so sorry. Natives or indigenous people are smaller communities spread out in every state. Google a powwow near you when this COVID chills down. Okay. And I'm so thank you for telling me. If I skipped you, you tell me because nails and glitter. Yep, that's one of the big five, the biggest nations down in New Mexico. Wait a second. Is that what? Yeah. Okay. 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 Don't hate me. The biggest old nations down in New Mexico. Denver March Powwow. The one in New York is one of all the Canadian natives come down for it's a good time once COVID gets clear. Did I, was that what I skipped? Let me see. Hope I didn't skip. Is there anybody else? Just jump on and say, go back. I will because I couldn't really keep track because it kept spinning and spinning. Nails and glitter. Oh, I missed something. The JSYK, the Navajo adopted a group of Black people into their tribe a long time ago. So there's some cultural overlap. I would love to learn more about that. If you have any information on it, or I could look it up myself. But thank you. And let me just make sure I didn't skip too many other people. I'm horrible. Let me see. Yes, no. I just wanted to say a general thing. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Things are just getting more stressful and more stressful, and I love having this interaction and talking to everybody. And I didn't get to a ton of stuff. The Voting Rights Act, um, the white supremacist plot to take. Oh, the earlier. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I can scroll up. It might take me a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Again, once again, Newsletter, I will go back up. I didn't get to talk about the, you guys, they were going to try her and kill her, apparently. Gretchen Whitmer. They were going to try to kill her and make a, like, these people were, this is the real thing. I didn't get to talk, I didn't get to talk about the sheriff who kind of thought that was okay, you know? It's like, not so bad. Who is a sitting sheriff. And yes, you don't need to find it, no biggie. Oh, I'm so sorry, Nails and Glitter. I do not mean to skip you. Absolutely not. You always have a lot of wisdom to, a lot of things to say. But I wanted to tell everyone, thank you so much. If you agree like I do that it's way past time, white America starts taking some racial responsibility, then please consider subscribing and supporting my channel by watching my videos and sending them to anybody who you think could use them. I know we're at an incredibly rough time where we are so divided that people won't even listen. I mean, I lost all my friends a long time ago when I told them maybe it was that letter when I told them to F off if they vote for Trump. But if they, I think I might have said a general thing like, okay, I know exactly what I said. I wrote a proclamation like right before he was even elected, actually. And there may have been a few F bombs dropped. And I basically said I wasn't writing it to anyone specific. This is when I was actually on Facebook. Now I'm kicked off for life. So yeah, I'm kicked off for life. So I'm not really on except for I sneak on under. It's a whole nother story. But anyway, when I was on Facebook, I I was like, no way, I'm done. And oh my God, did I lose a ton of people? And you know what? I don't care. And that is my privilege talking because I don't have to care. I can be an idealist. And I'm really lucky not everyone can. But oh my God, did I have people? They took it all personally. I'm like, I didn't even know you were a Trump supporter. Jeez. But people really outed themselves. So can I do that? I don't know, probably. I don't know if you're talking to me, but yeah, I probably can. Yep, 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 yep. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, watch the videos, tell me what you think, and I will get to every last comment. I'm even putting through the comments that are really nasty now. I don't know why. I'm just like, so I can tell them off. Maybe I don't know because I do watch the comments because I got in threats and had police involved. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. I am so thrilled. Be safe. It's, I can't imagine it getting worse, but it's gonna get worse. Okay, so Harper, thank you so much. I've figured out how to get. This is the first time I've attended. I'm so happy you were here, Harper. Oh my God, you were like wonderful. Put you right in. I will not do that. I will not shake it all. But yeah. I am very proper. No, I'm not proper at all. I'm like the least proper person. Like, don't even know what the word means. But unfortunately, but anyway, thank you so much for being here. If I skipped you, I didn't mean to. Uh oh. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Yeah. You subscribe and yeah, I know this is what they say. I swear I'm lame at YouTube. Subscribe and ring the bell and you'll get notifications. I don't really know what that means, but I think there's a bell and you have to click it. Okay. Thank you so much. And be safe and keep in touch. I put at the very beginning, if you want to personal message me, the very beginning, I am on my page. Absolutely. Amen to that. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. And I will see you next Wednesday, I hope. And let me know how it's going. Oh, okay. Got it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to. So good night, everybody. You made the show wonderful. All right. So tell a friend, bring a friend next time, and we'll talk about. And if you ever have something to talk about that is different than you supply the information, and I will read whatever you say. And of course, everyone will scrutinize every word you say, but kind of how it goes. So, all right. Good night, everybody. Thank you. I'm very happy about tonight. Good night. Thanks. You too, guys.